How do I see feminism in Europe as someone coming from a conservative Arabic society? What were the shocks I found when I was dating here in Europe? Who should pay the bill? How do I see equality between men and women? My stories, my shock. So, on my Arabic channel, I made a test to see if I'm a feminist because feminism now is something that is in the Arabic world is a very bad word. I could swear someone and say she's a feminist. And so I wasn't into that at all because I'm someone who see the big picture. I'm someone who on the Kohlberg moral scale, I made the test and I found that I'm someone who can have the right judgment naturally. My brain is designed that way, that I can look and see and come up with the correct moral solution. To be honest, I didn't look into feminism at all. I wasn't interested. I'm not interested anyway in rebelling or anything like that. But I'm interested in living life in a logical way, okay? What makes sense, I just do it. So the first story I have is when I was traveling from Budapest to Zagreb by train, and I was moving. I was moving from Hungary to Croatia, so I was carrying two huge heavy bags. And my plan was that I'm going to take a taxi to the train station. So the taxi driver will put the bags in the taxi and then get them out in the train station. I will just roll them to the train, push them hardly in, and then once I arrived there, Dahmer, my husband, was going to be waiting for me and he's going to carry them, okay? But then, as we are on the train and the train is going to its destination, they suddenly stop and they say that there are problems on the way and we have to go down and drag those two heavy bags on unpaved road to a bus. So I was trying to do that, but it was almost impossible, I'm so tiny and those bags are so huge and heavy. And of course, everyone is coming out of the train going to the bus and no one is offering to help me. A lot of big, huge guys are passing by and no one is offering to help this poor little female who's struggling with those two bags. And guess who wanted to help me? An Indian woman. And she's not bigger much than me. So I had to stop one of those huge guys and I said, "Excuse me, can you carry my bag?" And the guy was so shocked, and then he stood to think a bit, and then he said, "Okay," and then he was complaining the whole way, what do you have inside? It's too heavy. And that's when I discovered that feminism, this idea of that came to the West, feminism, is just messed up in the West, People really don't understand what are the limits, what does feminism mean, what does it mean that a woman will have her rights. It seems to me that they thought a woman having her rights means that you do everything, right? You don't have muscles, but you still need to carry heavy things. What is this? What are you thinking? When I did the feminism test on my Arabic channel, the questions I found about feminism is something like, do you agree that females should have education? I was like, yes. Do you agree that females can get the same amount of money for the same job if they're working? And I said, definitely yes. And this happened to me in Egypt, where I was working in a company. I was the most important one there, taking care of everything. And I discovered that they are giving me third the salary of a guy who was doing nothing. And when I asked the owner of the company, how is this possible? He said, he's a man and he's, he needs savings and to prepare himself for marriage. because in Egypt, the man has to bring the pay for the house or the apartment. So of course I quit immediately because this doesn't make sense. Not because of feminism, just because it doesn't make sense. I do all the work in this company. I'm the most important one. I am training that guy, and then he give the guy 3 times my salary. That doesn't make sense. So the questions I was answering in this feminism questionnaire or test, they were just about the basics, like does the woman have the right to vote in the elections? Yes. And I think that's how it started, because I come from the Arabic world. And yes, we have problems with this. My mother couldn't continue her education, and she was forced into arranged marriages because she was a female, and she just couldn't go to university because of that. And of course, also, she didn't get her inheritance from her parents because also she's a female. So all those things that are now happening in the Arabic world that are against, I would say, logic, that's how feminism started. But now I see that when now women got their rights, it's like in the West, they are being punished for that. So, okay, you are supposed to be independent. It means, like once when I first came to Europe, I was trying to find love and my life partner through dating websites and apps. And that's on my series, Love Surfing. You can follow it also on this channel. And then once I went with this guy to a restaurant, he was a Portuguese guy, and he told me, "Hey, we are not here in Egypt, huh? So you have to pay for your lunch." And and because I was new to Europe, I thought that, oh, it seems that this is how things are, you know. But then I met another guy, Portuguese as well, and we went somewhere to have a tea and cake and something. And then he told me, "Oh, please, I'm inviting you, I will pay." And I asked him, like, "Really, is this possible here in Europe?" And he said, "Yes, I want to." And that's when I realized that, okay, some guys are taking this feminism and equal rights to the extent that they are just becoming super selfish and self-centered. And they don't want to give nothing to the female just because now she's not going to cook for him, or but guess what, she's still this female, she's still a female, she still bleed every month, she still have children, she still go through perimenopause, menopause, and all that, things that you don't go through. And this doesn't mean that we are supposed to be as it used to be, like we should put women down and control them. And no, because this creative creature that is a female, this feminine energy, is having those troubles of or challenges, bleeding and bearing children and all that. That's why the male is supposed to be supportive. It doesn't mean that she should get half of your salary, or that she should carry heavy lifting, No, the man is supposed to be supportive of the female because of what she brings to the table. So yes, on my dating journey later on, I was so careful that I was looking for the guy who doesn't mind giving, huh? It's not that, oh, you have to pay, how much is this tea? I have a lot of stories from my dating experience that I will be sharing in my book, Love Surfing, which will be soon in English. But I met many guys who, in Europe, that were unbelievably cheap, stingy and cheap. Hiding behind the idea of feminism, like, oh, equality. Now I'm not going to pay nothing. And I don't think so. I think the man needs to prove that he's giving, He is ready to give. And it doesn't always have to be that he will give money. Because I met this woman when I was on my flight from Italy to Brussels. And she was a lawyer, a Belgian lawyer, and she was very successful. She had many branches of her office. She was specialized in family law. And she was very successful, right? And her husband, he was a Syrian refugee. And guess what? Of course, he's not working I mean, she has a better chance. She has a better chance of success because she's a lawyer. So she has this, she's really rich. She has all this, she's the one financially providing for the family, but he is responsible for raising their daughter and managing the house and the farm. They have a farm, and he's growing, he was growing zucchini at that time, and he cooked for us. So men usually make it seem like because there is equality and feminism that okay, now you do everything, you know. No, that's not how it should be. In a relationship, the two people in a relation need to add value, but this value doesn't have to be usually money, but it can be money as well. So if you are someone that you are, let's say you are having a bigger position or you're having a higher salary, yeah, then you have to pay for, if your wife or girlfriend or partner, she's having less, then you need to pay. Like some sense, some logic. So I hope this video is useful and inspiring, and it can make you understand what is your position in a relationship. And if you want to talk to me, I have listening sessions. I also have journaling, creative journaling circle. If you want to meet other people, connect on a deeper level, and create your own community, supportive community, check it out. All my books, products, services are in the description box. So check it out as well, and see you in a coming video.